Hi, Lacy. Thanks for opting into the instructor critique. Um, I just opened up this design and I think you're off to a good start. Definitely have some things we could do to make it a little bit more professional, keep it heading in the right direction. First of all, I like the colors that you're working with on this first page. The dark blue and this light pink look really nice together, especially with the background image or the background clouds here in this image you have. Um, I would like to see some contrasting typography here for the title. Um, Perhaps even if it's just as simple as changing the typeface that you have for President Russell M. Nelson's name. Perhaps you could do something. I feel like this is kind of begging for a script typeface. Could take a look at dafont.com. Any of these are pretty, let's see, maybe something like this. Even something like this would be kind of interesting. I usually look in the school or the handwritten category under script. This is Dafont, Dafont. Something like this could be good because this looks professional, which is kind of one of the vibes that I feel when I look at this first page. Um, but something like that would help add in a little contrast. Now, doing that, I'm not going to be super picky and say, oh, this is one font, two font, three fonts, so that's too many fonts. I think it's okay to do that. I would go through and remove these footnote numbers. They look a little awkward when you copy and paste them in, so just go ahead and take them off. One of the big things I'm noticing, obviously, is you've done this really cool wrap around the shape of the Christus. And you probably did that by going in and drawing. The problem is there's this stroke here. And at first I thought this was like an artistic choice, but I think it's probably an accident. And so we need to go in and remove the stroke so you can do the actual shape but not have the stroke be black. Okay. You're probably in the process of figuring that out. Also, I might increase the offset distance. See how like social wondered is overlapping with the actual statue and over here a little bit too. So just so you don't have to retrace the shape, you could increase the offset distance, which on that text wrap box, it's the numbers underneath that say like 0.13 or 0. You can increase that to like 0.2, and that will help pull this away from the very edge of the shape. Be sure to turn off your hyphens. They're currently on, and any professional design you don't want to have the hyphens on. Now the other thing is you're getting some weird lines here in the background, and I don't know what these are, but they're distracting for me. So maybe it's like a transparency you've placed here and it has a stroke on it or something. I don't know, but I would recommend removing whatever is going on here in the background. The other thing is I think your typeface is too big. I think this is too large. If you take a look at some of these examples, you'll actually be surprised to notice how small the type is, okay? So look at how tiny this is. Surprisingly small. We might feel at first like, oh, that's too small, but if you look at a magazine, you'll notice that the font size is very small. Okay, so you should be able to fit quite a lot of words in. Now, the other thing you'll notice is the amount of space between the edge of the page and where the column starts. See how much white space there is here and how much this really gives your eye room to flow, to breathe. Look at how wide these margins are between where one column starts and where another column ends, okay? So lots more room in the margins, even a little bit of increase in the gutter probably would be beneficial on your other pages, but definitely need more room down here. This is a good amount of space actually. Right here, I'm fine with this. But down here in the bottom, it's pretty critical, and then decreasing this font size. You are having some trapped white space here on this page. There is some white space, but because of this green shape and it ending exactly where your letters are, it's creating kind of a dated look. So if you want to do this green shape in the background, I would make it a full bleed. It's It's instantly going to date any design to have a shape and then to have an amount of white space between it and the edge of the page, because it makes it feel like it's back in the day before publishers and magazine printing companies were able to do full bleeds. Okay, so flowing off the edge of the page will instantly make it look more contemporary. I would also probably not have the whole page green. I would probably choose maybe the top third of the page or the middle third where your pull quote is. Something like that is going to help this feel a little bit more modern and interesting too. Making this type size smaller is going to help this page feel more modern as well. I'm not a huge fan of the pink with the black stroke around it either. I feel like it's a little bit laborious to read since it's all caps. It's not a super short sentence. So this would be a good time to introduce maybe that contrasting typeface. So maybe you have Jesus Christ as an accent word, and then maybe his church filled with his power as an accent word, and then the rest of it is something that's a little bit more legible. Now you could use a script, which would be even more dramatic contrast, or you could stay with this font if you really, really like it. Okay? And then down here on your text wrap, you are probably having the option selected to wrap to bounding box. And when you hit Window Text Wrap in InDesign, it's going to show you some small pictures across the top of that pop-up. You want to select the one that says Wrap to Object Shape. Okay, that's going to wrap it to this hexagon? Yeah, hexagon, as opposed to wrapping to the imaginary box that's around the hexagon. That's instantly going to make it look better as well. I will say this hexagon looks squished. It looks like it was accidentally stretched upward, and it looks kind of like the image inside of it was as well. So I would probably just relook at this picture and make sure the proportions have stayed the same. And to be honest, I would probably choose to do a circle or a square and probably eliminate the thick black stroke. If you do a stroke, I would probably choose one of the colors that's in your color scheme as opposed to this thick black. And then I would want to see your color scheme become more apparent. Right now it's blue and pink here, green and pink, nothing here. If I was you, I would probably go with this blue and this pink, get rid of this green, have a shape in the background that's that blue again, and then maybe introduce the pink. Like if you made it a circle, it has a pink circle around it. Something along those lines. Okay, now you're missing subheadings, so be sure to get those in. Those will be in a contrasting typeface, and you could do those in a deep blue or deep pink, something like that. Okay, so introducing more color scheme, decreasing the amount of the size of your columns, adding in maybe a little bit more white space in strategic places, and working on this main cover will help take your design to the next level. Okay, I gave you a lot of ideas. If you feel confused once you start working on them and need a little bit more input on where to go next, you can feel free to email me the second draft, and I'll just write back quickly, and tell you if you interpreted what I said right, or if I have any ideas for things that would continue to make it better this week. Okay, hope you're doing well. Bye.